Alrighty, so let's try the third scene of the rocket movie, and this is where the rocket travels through space. When you get in, make sure that you do sign in so that your name appears, and then you want to go to My Projects to open up the previous file that we're working on. And this is mine. And then you click on this little pencil to get to edit mode. I'm going to resize my window a bit so you can see what I'm doing. Something like that. And maybe make this smaller so I'm inside that window. Alrighty. So to add another scene, you want to come over here to the scene panel and click on Add Scene, which is right here. In this part of the movie, we're going to have a rocket travel across the screen, so it's pretty straightforward. And again, I'm going to do it the lazy way and just grab a rocket here. I'm going to click on it and frame 00. And if you right click, you can say copy. Again, on a Chromebook, that's holding down the Alt key as you click on it. Now I'll go back to scene 3 here, which needs to be down here. And we bring in the rocket, which is a paste. Command B will also get it there. Now this rocket is going to be flying across the stage horizontally. So I'm going to take its rotate handle and move it like this. You'll notice that now my rocket is kind of upside down again, although that's a relative term in outer space, but we can flip it. If you right click on this, there's a transform, and I think flip horizontally will fix it. Nope, that wasn't it. Let me undo that. Let's try flip vertically, and that'll work. Flip vertically. Sure enough, in this case, that's what I want. So if you need to, zoom out a little bit so you can see the entire canvas. And in the beginning, you want the rocket over here. And I think this will be about a 3 or 4 second event. So I'll move the end of scene marker about here. And maybe 3.5. And so put a keyframe at the end of this movie, or end of this scene, excuse me. And at this keyframe, you simply move the rocket across the stage. And so the effect here for this scene, whoops, I think I messed up. How did I mess up? Well, that's kind of weird. Let me undo that. That's not uncommon that I make mistakes. So I'm going to remove that keyframe. And I want it to begin at the very beginning, way over here. Now, let's see what I did wrong. I come over here and I hold down the Alt key and say Insert Keyframe. And, oh, I think I know what I did. I need to move this bad boy over here. And the timeline marker. And I come on over here, and that's the effect I want. So that when it flies across the stage like that. Okay? To give it some depth, you can add another layer. I'll lock this guy and move back to 0. And add another, well, I can, as soon as I draw something, it will add that to another layer, I do believe. Let's see if that is the case. Yep, get a new layer there. This will be another planet way in the background that we're not landing on. So I'm going to change its fill to maybe a radial. And you can pick whatever you'd like. Here, I like that blue one. That was kind of cool. Let's try that. And let's see. I'll put that guy maybe over here. Let's make him a little smaller. And I won't take too much time in making it look amazing, but let's see what I could do. Well, I'll just leave it like that. There's certainly other things you could do to it. You could add little rings to it. I'll save that for maybe another scene. Now, we're going to make this a little bit smaller one more time here. And what this tween's going to do is simply just move a little bit, this planet. And this will provide us an illusion of depth. So this is going to be moving a lot slower than the rocket. So I'm only going to have it go from like about here to about here. So putting a keyframe at the end of that scene for this mystery planet. And on this, at this keyframe, I'm going to have it move about that far. And so the effect that you get is when you play it, it kind of does one of these. Well, there's a problem. The planet's appearing closer to us than the rocket ship. So what you want to do is take your planet and put it below the rocket. And now, when you run this, the rocket should go in front of it this time. And that's what you want for scene 3. Now, I have been omitting in all of these, or these last 2 scenes, stars. And what you could do is take some time to make a little tiny star, perhaps. And you can draw your stars or just use little dots. But I'm going to try this. Whoops, that's a little too small. One more time here. Star, fill. Let's try that. And if I hit escape from off, that's way too small. So let me try one more time. Well, that's a star. It's kind of hokey, but you can copy paste that. Oops, undo. You could copy that star and then put a bunch of them on there, but I'll leave it to you to decide what you want to do, and you can look at what some other movies. You can also manipulate the size here. You could have stars of different sizes, and so on. And it'd just be a lot of copy pasting to put these on here. Once you have them on there, they should stay through the entire film if you have it 0, and you're not moving the stars at all. So, how you go about arranging these and putting them on, I'm going to leave that up to you. But you could have stars out there, and I'm not going to go much further than that. Of course, you don't want them to be lined up too much because it won't look very real. So anyway, you can put those stars behind the rocket. Again, you'd want the rocket on top. It'll look a lot better when the rocket goes in front of the stars. Okay, so thanks a lot. That's scene 3, and we'll call this one, let's give this some meaningful names, Leaving Earth. And let's call this one Traveling Through Space. Alrighty, so there are our 3 scenes so far. The next scene will be approaching a mystery planet, and that's very similar to Leaving Earth, but the twins are just the opposite. The rocket starts off large, gets small, and the planet starts small and gets large. So we'll do that next time, though. Thanks.